in today's presentation, I'm going to be presenting about one chapter of biology and I'm going to be connecting that with geography. So I got this idea from Dr. T.P. Shashikumar's sirs in one of his talk.
Taking bath, we take a poem, which I keep saying, if you don't learn geography in the classroom, go and learn in the bathroom. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidim Guru. Is it not uniting India? Every state where the river runs. But today probably some of them have gone to some other state or country. That's it. Otherwise, Bharat, all the river names are learned. Which science, which education system taught us like this, which every child can learn and just remember and have the geography of India in the mind. The river will tell you geography of India. Map is in front of us. Gange cha Yamune chaiva. So we went to Kailash. I remember when I went to Kailash, I was seeing Ganga, the frozen state. I wanted to touch Ganga there. Gange cha Yamune chaiva. Yamuna, when we come to UP. So from Kailash we reached to UP. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari. Immediately we came to Andhra Pradesh, east of India. Saraswati, we don't know where to go because Saraswati river doesn't exist. It is my department, the Department of Space, did a beautiful study on Indian heritage sites. We have a National Natural Resource Management System division in Bangalore under the headquarters. Earlier, Radhakrishnan sir, who became the chairman, was the head of that. And that department produced a beautiful book, almost 300 pages, The Heritage Sites of India. That book itself is good enough, which has taken lot of satellite images from 800 kilometers above the earth and then seen different sites on India. The map is created to talk about Indian heritage. The modern science is used to prove Indian heritage, in which Saraswati river was plotted. And Saraswati river, which is not existing on the ground. What was given? When Gujarat and Rajasthan had a lot of water problem, where to dig to get water for getting from the borewell, there was a project given to Department of Space. What was done is we started taking satellite image to know where the borewells can be dug. We created all the points where the water is available, connected together. We got a river structure which was exactly matching with the Vedic river structure, which is explaining where Saraswati river is flowing. See what a marvelous knowledge which we got. That information was given to archaeology department. They do a carbon dating technology to understand how old is this river which disappeared from the earth and went down to the ground. We found it is 3200 BC. So we found out the river 5000 years back what is existing. Let's just think about the sloka which we are chanting in the bathroom. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidim Guru. This sloka 100% is not written during the time when Saraswati was not on the ground. So this small line exists in each one of our mind, which was written 5000 years back, 10,000 years back, or if somebody asks when is it written, we have to say, So the geography of thoughts, Sanskrit slokas were made to chant every day morning by everyone. That is education. People keep saying Kerala become literate with the left or right. I keep saying it is not left or right. It is Saraswati who made the education system. We have that Navami, Dashami, in which writing was part of everyone. Whether you go to school or don't, doesn't matter. Everyone is supposed to practice writing.
Where he told the simple sloka, and he told that with this simple sloka, you can learn all of the rivers from India from north to south. So the chapter which I'm going to be talking about is weather, climate and adaptation. So what is weather? So weather is the day-to-day condition of a place at a particular place with respect to the temperature, the humidity and rainfall. That is known as the weather at a particular place or at that place. example, like first you might be experiencing a sunny weather, and then later the next moment or after few hours or minutes you might be seeing that it's raining. So weather can change with respect to the rainfall, humidity, wind speed, etc. The maximum and the maximum minimum thermometer. So the maximum and minimum thermometer is used to measure the maximum minimum temperature at a place. So like over here, as you can see this picture, so one of the side is used to measure the minimum temperature and the other side is used to measure the maximum temperature of that place. So in the minimum reading scale, the bulb at the top is filled with alcohol, and the other contains a vacuum or a low pressure alcohol vapor. Now climate, what is climate? Climate is the weather pattern over a long period of time, like I can say 10 years, 25 years, 30 years, like that is the climate of a place. So that is for like a long period of time, but weather is the day-to-day condition, and it can change with respect to the temperature, the humidity, the rainfall. So as you can see, this is where Western Ghats is, and this is where Himalayas is. So over here, Kerala will come approximately over here, and since there's Western Ghats, it rains. So Kerala is wet, and over here, this is where Jammu and Kashmir is. Since they're near Himalayas, it's cold. Then Kerala is comparatively warmer to Jammu and Kashmir. So over here, the climate at the regions of India. Over here, as I told, Jammu and Kashmir, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, all of there is highlands. And over here, as you know, Rajasthan is pretty much very hot, as there's a desert known as the Hare desert. Then, so it's pretty much really dry and hot. The next one, the regions that is green in color, marked in green, Kerala and Goa, those regions, they are tropical wet regions. So the next one, what I'm going to be talking about this is the climate and the adaptation. So climate, as I told in Kerala, for example, if we take Kerala, so it's pretty much really hot, not very hot, but hot, and it's also wet. So the animals living over there is also adapted to that condition. So I'm going to be talking about the animals from the polar region and also from the tropical rainforest and their adaptation. So first I'm going to be talking about the polar region, and the polar region has a very extreme climate. So based on the climate at a place, the earth is divided into different zones. That is the Arctic zone, the temperate zone and the tropical zone. So like this is the equator, the Tropic of Cancer, the Arctic Circle, and so over here the regions from the equator to the Tropic of Cancer, the regions between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer, and the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn is the tropical zone, and then the regions between the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle, and also the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle is the temperate zone. And then from the regions between the regions of Arctic Circle and the Northern Hemisphere and the Antarctic Circle and the Southern Hemisphere is the Frigid zone. So this is the North Pole and this is the South Pole and this is Antarctica. And there's an interesting phenomenon in the polar region where over here we have summer solstice, winter solstice and equinox. So over here we have the North Pole and the South Pole, and this is also the North Pole and the South Pole. So the rays of the sun hits only these parts. So over here this is the North Pole and this is the South Pole. So as you can see, it does not receive any rays from the sun, and this one and this North Pole receives the rays from the sun. So what happens is actually for about 6 months in the southern hemisphere, South Pole, it is winter, and the sun does not rise, and in the North Pole it is summer and the sun does not set at all, and is the exact same opposite happens in the winter solstice. The polar region and its location and also its wildlife. So the polar region is also known as the frigid zone and is permanently covered with ice and snow. So there's less than 1% of land that's exposed. So over here, since there's ice and snow, there are only two types of flowering plants, that is the Antarctic hare grass and Antarctic pearlwood. But there's a huge range of mosses, liverworts and lichens. So now I'm going to be talking about the adaptation of the polar bear. The first thing is that it has white fur, so it can camouflage with the white snow so that it can find its prey easily and can attack them, and also it can escape from its predators as it camouflages with the snow. The next one, it has white fur and it has a very thick fur that keeps it warm, and under the layer of fur it has a layer of fat that is known as the blubber. And since it's well insulated, so well insulated, if it does too much of physical activities, it might get overheated, so it might die. Then the next one is, during summer, since it must not get overheated, it needs to cool its body. So what it does, it goes for swimming, and it's a very good swimmer, and they can hold their breath and can go deep for a long duration of time. So for swimming and for walking on the snow, their paws are also adapted. Their paws are wide and large that help them walk on the snow and also swim. Then they also have a strong sense of smell. So now I'm going to be talking about penguins. So, and their adaptation also. The penguins have white fur, so they also merge with the white background, and also they have thick skin and a lot of fat to protect them from the cold, just as the polar bear. But they do something else also to protect them from the extreme climate. What they do is they huddle together in huge groups very tightly to conserve heat. And to be fair, they constantly rotate. Now, constantly rotate means like they might have like this huge group. So inside that, there'll be like a lot of penguins. So at the sides, there'll be like a few penguins all around. There'll be a lot of penguins. So what they do is the ones at the sides will go inside, and the ones inside will come outside, and they'll stand at the sides. The next one is the Siberian cranes. So if the birds have to survive, they need to remain in like a very warm climate. So what they do is, since they can travel faster, what they do is they migrate to warm regions. And among the cranes, they are the only ones who migrate like a long distance, and they can travel about 15,000 kilometers. And this is one of the painting of a Siberian crane in the Mughal period. Now, how do they know the direction? So some say that the birds have a built-in sense of direction. Some of the birds use landscape, and many birds are guided by the sun during the day and the stars during the night. So they migrate from Siberia to India. So they migrate from the Arctic Circle over here, to the Tropic of Cancer. The Tropic of Cancer over here. This is India. This whole region is India. So they migrate from Siberia to India. Next one, I'm going to be talking about the tropical rainforest. So over here in this map, the ones that's marked on green is the areas that has the tropical rainforest. And so I can say Kerala, Karnataka, parts of Karnataka, Goa, Mumbai, all these regions. Then all of these regions has tropical rainforest. So they are usually hot and moist, and they're found near the Earth's equator. So even during the coldest months, they are generally higher than 15 degrees Celsius, but during summer, they may cross 40 degrees Celsius. The tropical rainforest in the world map. So over here, as you can see, South America, the ones that's marked in green has the tropical rainforest. Then Africa, then India, as I showed before in the before slide. Then some parts of Australia and also some parts of New Zealand. So next I'm going to be talking about a few animals in the tropical rainforest. So I'm going to be talking about the first one which I'm going to be talking about is the red-eyed tree frog. So this is the red-eyed tree frog. Next I'm going to be talking about the adaptation of the red-eyed tree frog. So the first adaptation is that they have sticky pads. Like if I see this regions is like these parts are really sticky. So what this helps is that it gives a lot of grip, so that it can, like while it jumps, it can like grab onto the stem and it can give a lot of grip to it. The next one is, as you can see, they have like a very long tongue so that it can grab their prey. The next one is, what you might notice is their big red eyes. So when a predator comes to prey on them, when they look at the predator, they might get scared and might get stuck for a small period of time. So that allows this red-eyed tree frog to escape. Next one is the toucans. So the toucan, as you might notice first, is their very large, colorful beak. So what it does is, like its beak, what it helps it is like, so as you can see, there's like a few fruits over here. So some stems, they are very weak to support the weight of the birds. So its beak can easily reach up to the fruits. So it can easily take the fruits. Then the next one is its eyesight. It has very good eyesight to see the food. And the toucans, they are usually bad flyers. So what they do is that eventually after they eat, they excrete immediately so that they don't carry extra weight and so that they can fly easily. Next one, I'm going to be talking about an elephant, the adaptation of an elephant. So the elephant uses its trunk. So this is the trunk. It uses its trunk as the nose. And the trunk is used, or its nose is used to pick the fruits or the food. And the tusk, this is the tusk. Its tusk is modified teeth, and it's pretty much really sharp and hard, so it can tear the bark of the tree that it loves to eat. And the next one is that the elephant has large ears, so that enables it to hear even small sounds. And during the hot summer, the hot weather, the elephant increases the blood supply to its ears. So as the elephant flaps the ear, it loses the body heat. Then the next one is that the elephant has a really strong sense of smell. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation. Happy learning and have a good day.